We are really pleased that we're here for day 4 of Expand North Star, our landmark dedicated event for startups. We're in association with GITEX Global, the largest tech show in the world. And the idea here is that we bring you the latest technology, the expertise being shared from across the world, and really tapping into the wealth of experience here in the Middle East and in particular in the UAE. What we've tried to do this year with our 4 days of special programming here in our brand new venue is to look at actually the intersection of technology. We've had sporting stars, we've had people in the luxury brands, and now we are going to do a deep dive into the media world. Well, I'm a little bit biased. I'm going to be sitting in the front row taking notes. Being ex-BBC and part of that traditional media world, media and technology, it really is the way forward. Lots of companies are looking at how they can improve their storytelling, but also, when it comes to startups, what are some of the key lessons that we can learn about promoting a brand, launching a business, and really having that success story? Who better to share their career journey and to give us those pearls of wisdom than the founder and former chairman CEO of Euronews France, Michael Peters. Please give him a big round of applause as we hand over to his presentation. Thank you.
I'm Michael Peters, and despite I'm obviously looking very young and, as my wife would say, very handsome, I am considered as a veteran of the media industry. For this reason, I could have speak to you for all this time about the challenges of independent journalism, the big role that medias are playing in the industry, the fact that a lot of media now are more imposing a perspective than helping you to make your own opinion. I could have spoken about my successes to turn Euronews, first European news channel, into the first watched news channel in Europe in 17 languages. I could have speak to you about my failures. This would have been short, obviously. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure that this would have get you something very useful, as I guess that you are all here to learn things. You are entrepreneurs, startuppers, and I then thought that instead of speaking to you about the media industry that may look a bit far from your considerations, I thought that I should speak about one project that I'm working on for the time being, which is all about brands. I understand that you are strategists, CEOs, entrepreneurs, investors, startuppers, and I want to tell you today that, of course, you need to spend a lot of attention, time, probably you think a lot of money into the activation of your brand, because your brand is very important to you, and this is what I expertise. And I want to tell you, as a kind of dinosaur of the traditional media industry, that if you want to work hard on your own brands, it may take you whether a lot of money, a lot of resources going through these traditional media who will give you a very high level targeted audience, or going through all the social networks and spending a lot of money if you want to reach a big scale. So I thought that something interesting for you to hear about is a project that I've launched with some friends, which is a project where we want to give possibilities to young startups and startuppers to make them known, to make their brands extremely powerful in a world of hyper competitiveness, in a world of very high competition because of the noise, created by all these social networks. And to make the presentation as entertaining as possible, I thought that it would be interesting to show you some examples. So I have 3-4 videos, depending about the time we'll have, to show you how some big brands, very established brands, have went through sometimes challenges, sometimes creativity, whatever, to make their brands even better known or even better impactful. And I thought that these very entertaining examples will show you that there are a lot of hopes for you, and even if it's coming from a media person like me, from traditional media, that there is a lot of hopes for you if you are clever and if you go to the right people to help you to activate as much as you can your brands. So let's go to the examples. The first one is an illustration of a very big brand that you know called Airbnb. You may have heard about them. They wanted to integrate the Chinese market. They were not known at all in this market. You know the importance of the Chinese market. And they tried to find a strategy to make them brand known. And you will see that in all these examples, once again, the idea is to make your brand, to activate your brand in a very, very high level scope dimension without spending a lot of money. So let's look what they did, Airbnb in China.
Walls. We have seen walls raising. We have seen walls spreading. We have seen walls falling. But some walls just won't disappear in a day.
And now get this, the newest listing on Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Yep, you heard that right. You can actually sleep at the historic site.
以跨越文化界限为题，
turning into a place to stay instead of a barrier to keep people out.
Airbnb hopes to promote sustainable tourism to China by showcasing how the wall's heritage has been preserved.
活动是由爱彼迎核文化保护组织。
That would be the coolest thing ever to see.
That would. We should put our heads together and come up with a good answer.
That is stunning.
That is beautiful.
I think I'm gonna check
Ooh,
that
look at
out.
that.
Okay, this could
This
be
could
you.
be you.
All right,
This could be us.
So as you can see here, the brand really gets into something extremely creative. It's all about creativity and imagining. This activation campaign didn't cost nearly nothing except the fact to find the right persons in China to rent this tower of the Chinese wall, and then all the media coverage happened. I want to show you a second example, which is a very old French brand with doing bonbons, like you will see in the video. And this example shows how, you will see that the budget of this campaign, I think, was something like $100, no more. They decided to take a risk. It was quite a corporate risk. So the story is about this, so I don't know for those who know in France, it's called carambar. So it's some small caramel bonbons, and they are existing since 40, 50 years. And inside these bonbons, you have some jokes inside, which made them very famous in the last years. They were about to fall down in terms of perception of brands, in terms of visibility, and this is what they did. If it plays.
For the last 44 years, Carambar has been very famous in France, certainly more for the jokes printed on the wrapping paper than for the candy bar itself.
Comment dit-on déshabitant en japonais?
However, these last few years, the brand started to lose a bit of its iconic edge. To remind people why they love Carambar, we decided to focus on what's unique about it, their jokes. And what could be funnier than telling a joke to one person? Well, playing a joke on an entire country. On Thursday, March 21st, we sent a press kit to 100 key influencers announcing heartbreaking news. Carambar was about to put an end to its famous jokes and replace them with mathematical exercises, spelling quizzes, and geography Q&As. Less than an hour later, France went nuts. We turned into a trending topic on Twitter, and in less than 48 hours, every major media covered the story.
Il n'y aura bientôt plus de blagues sur les papiers de Carambar.
Les blagues Carambar vont disparaître.
Les blagues Carambar. Des blagues Carambar.
Plus de blagues Carambar.
Carambar, inimaginable d'envisager cette historique sucrerie sans cette petite blague à l'intérieur du papier.
In a typically French manner, people that used to criticize the terrible quality of Carambar's jokes now started criticizing their planned removal. 17 petitions were created, and someone even changed Carambar's Wikipedia page. On Monday, March 25th, we posted a revealing video on social network. It was a joke. Showing the backstage of the operation, we explained how our joke tricked the entire country. In about 3 hours, we were trending topic. Again. People expressed their relief and shared the laugh, while mainstream media gave us a tip of the hat for pulling such a big joke on them.
Carambar n'arrête pas ses blagues. C'était une blague de dire qu'ils allaient arrêter leurs blagues.
With this first social media-powered joke to an entire country, we generated the equivalent of a full year of communication without a penny invested. In only 5 days, we were mentioned 950 times on TV, press, and radio. We gathered more than 55,000 tweets and made 150 million contacts. Sales went up by 10%. Spontaneously, several famous French cartoonists leveraged the Carambar joke to comment on other political news. But most importantly, Carambar went back to what it does best, the very reason why people love it so much, joking around.
So once again, this activation of brands, we are here really to focus about the brand costed less than $100, and you saw the impact that the brand has. Obviously, it was a big risk at a corporate level, but it works extremely well. The third example is to show you how to, if in the life of your startup, in the life of your, in the life of your company, you are facing sometimes some big challenges. And you can sometimes turn these challenges into a huge opportunity to even better speak about your brand coming from these challenges. This is an example that has been done by these brands.
For the last 44 years,
2022 Winter Olympics are 2022 Winter Olympics are upon us for the start of the Olympic Games in Beijing.
会进入倒计时，赛区是北京冬奥会水上。
The Jinting Snow Park in Hebei Province ahead of the games.
Yeah, so once again, I hope you understand that from someone like me coming from the media industry, showing you such an activation in a brand without any media can hopefully make sense. I have just a last example, time is running. I wanted to keep it for the end. It's an example used by, this young activist, Greta, with a very strong activist for environment and planet protection. And so this example shows that sometimes you can equally use a very big mainstream event that's happening in the world and act as an anti-something, to act against something to make your brand even more powerful. So look at this, it's quite astonishing, and especially look at the last seconds of the video, which is all about what I wanted to show you today.
Touchdown confirmed.
On the surface of Mars.
A monumental step to create a self-sustaining civilization there.
Earth is finite.
After more than 5 million years of human existence on Earth, it's time for a change. Mars. 56 million square miles of untouched land, breathtaking landscapes, and incredible views. Sights to see that have never been seen. New adventures we can only dream of. But that's not all. On Mars, there's no war, no criminality, no pandemics, and no pollution. Mars, an untainted planet, a new world where we can begin again. Mars offers the ultimate freedom. Freedom to pave a new path for humans. Freedom to create a new way of life. Freedom to forever change the course of humanity. Will you spend the rest of your years on Earth? Or will you be a pioneer?
And now watch this. So indeed the idea was clearly to jump on this incredible thing and saying, yes, for the 99% of the people who will never go to Mars, we need to do something very, very strong for our planet. The activation of this campaign was completely amazing. It has been one of the biggest achievements that Greta obtained thanks to this activation campaign. That's it. So in the 2 minutes that remains to me, just wanted to conclude that through these hopefully entertaining examples, illustrations, wanted to tell you, as once again a veteran of the media industry, that there are a lot of hopes for you. I really think that any company needs to put the brand at the heart of everything. And if you create all the values, the statements, the why of your brands, the mission statement strong, there are a lot of imaginative ways to make these brands reach a lot of impacts in the media, in the press, in the social medias through very strong ideas. So I just wanted to tell you that as once again I try to always do what I say, I try. I thought that it was interesting to show you these kind of things because with a very good friend of mine called Fred, who is the owner of the biggest independent advertising agency in the world called Fred and Farid. They are in Los Angeles, New York, Paris, and Shanghai. We have created a small kind of group called Big Time Project. If any one of you are interested to are coming with some ideas, want to activate any campaign you have, it's a completely free on my side project. It's just to try to make a kind of fund of creativity for startups. And if any one of you has any willingness to try to activate whatever they want to do with them, you can write at this email, contact@bigtimeproject.com, and maybe some people will be here to help you with your creativity. Thank you very much for your attention. I used my time, 17 seconds. I hope you appreciate. I'm done.
Michael, fantastic. What a fantastic presentation. We can't possibly let you go without inviting the audience to put you on the spot. Media mogul, this is your chance, ladies and gentlemen. Often you are the person who is founding and directing a media enterprise and recruiting journalists like myself so that we can put people on the spot, but this is your chance. Any questions in the audience? Please don't be shy. I've got one or two myself. We've only got about a minute more of Michael's time because he's a busy man. Okay, our audience is a bit shy, but had a few that people asked me just off-site here. Summing up, where did your great inspiration come from in life? We're speaking to aspiring entrepreneurs, startup wannabes. When it comes to taking a risk in life, who inspired you?
Who inspired me? I think we all have our own. I think we have all our own experiences, you know, and on my personal level, I've been inspired by the people who were beside me, you know, at the beginning of my career, probably. You can always be inspired by huge, famous celebs, picture, whatever, which at the end of the day you don't know so well. On my side, I've been inspired by maybe 2, 3, 4 people who took these decisions, who had this courage to take this sometimes strong decision that impacted a lot my own career, and who are probably the ones who gave me the most insightful.
Hello. Hi, I have a question.
Oh.
In the audience.
Fantastic. There's Mike. There's Mike, one of our wonderful moderators.
Thanks for the video. My question was, what happens if you run a controversial ad campaign like that and it backfires?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting one, because, for example, the first video I showed about the Chinese wall had this element in it, because obviously what we didn't show on the video is that this activation provoked, as it was, you know, an American company, you know, coming into one of the most, if not the most, you know, DNA, historical Chinese, you know, roots of the country. A lot of voices raised against the fact that it was a bit controversial, you know, to how can we use, you know. So I think that you're absolutely right. Most of the examples here have their own risk, and this is the limit. But I think at the end of the day that if you do something with a very healthy foundation, you know, whatever you will provoke will still be good for your brand. Because some people can say, this is an American thing, whatever, but the brand itself made something that put it the creativity, the ingenuity, and at the end of the day, the message, because the message for him, you say, look, you can rent anything on earth, you can rent things that will give you dreams, and as this message on the foundations were so good, then it didn't entage but you're absolutely right. This kind of activation campaign may have some risk, and I just illustrate what you say to go in your sense.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And on that note, because we do need to wrap up and allow Michael to continue with his day. Thank you so much, Michael Peters, for that wonderful presentation and interacting with our audience here at Expand North Star. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Please do give Michael a big round of applause.